Hello BPC 110 students. Welcome to week 5 of the course, and this week we're going to be starting to cover the Excel topics. So we're done with the word modules, and so if you go to the modules on the left hand side and go to module 5, you'll see the assignments and the readings. So the first one is going to be the Read Excel Chapter 1. So if you go to the Excel Chapter 1, now first of all, let's go to the library. And if you don't know how to get to the library, you can go to the home page, and down in this section below here, right below that video, there's a link to the library. So you can open that in a new tab. And this week we're going to be doing Excel. So there's the link to the Excel book. And we're going to be doing chapter 1, so creating and editing workbooks. And then if I click on this first topic here, it's the chapter overview. And it'll show you all the things that we're going to cover in chapter 1: create, save, and open Excel workbooks, enter labels and values, use functions, format cells, etc. And then you can go through the book and each one of the topics: creating, saving, and opening a workbook. You also have in the textbook, or the e-text, you have the show me, guide me, let me try again. But then eventually you're going to be doing the post-test on the SimPath. So if we go back to the modules here and go back to module 5, scroll down to module 5, excuse me. Oops, went past it. Okay, so here's module 5. So we're going to be doing the post-test. And so I thought, as just a quick review, and this will be a help to you, we can go through this together. And that's one way that you can learn about Excel. So I'm going to go ahead and do it. Yours will look like this once you get to the assignment. And I'm going to go ahead and skip the pre-test and the lesson and go right to the post-test. And again, remember, you can do the show me, guide me, let me try in the book or in the lesson. I would just go right to the lesson. So if you click on the post-test assignment, you can go skip over the pre-test, take the lesson, and then go through and review each one of these things, which is essentially what we're going to do here. So it says click any cell in column B. So Excel is divided up into columns and rows. This is column B. So if I click any cell in column B in that column, I've answered that correctly. So I can continue. Click the continue button, and then it says click any cell in row 11. So it's just making sure you know the difference between rows and columns. So just click any cell in row 11. The rows are on the left-hand side in numbers. Columns are letters across the top. And then it says to click cell B5. So B5 is the intersection of column B and row 5. So go in column B and then go down to row 5 and select that cell, and we got it correctly. And then click the name box. So the name box is right here. This got the name, or A1. It's got the current cell in the name box always. So that's what the name box does for you. And then it says click the profit projection worksheet tab. So workbooks can have multiple worksheets. And when you've got more than one worksheet in a workbook, you've got tabs down here at the bottom. One of them is this profit projection workbook, or worksheet rather. So if you click on that tab, it'll open up that worksheet in that workbook. Okay. And then we're on to the next question. Click the formula bar. The formula bar is right here. So if there's a formula in a cell, it'll be on this formula right here. If it's just a number, like in this case, on cell D5, it's just going to have the number that's in that cell. Okay. But that's the formula bar. So in other cases where there's a formula, it'll actually list the formula out there. And then it says click any part of the workbook that may display statistical information about the selected data. Okay, so down here on the bottom is the status bar. And right now it doesn't show any statistical data, but if you click on that last gray section at the bottom, that is the area where statistical data about that cell is going to be listed, or that range of cells even. Okay, now it says move to cell D2. So we're going to be in column D, row 2. Select that. We're good. And anytime we want to see where we're at, we can click on the toggle questions and we can see we're on question 9 of 42. Okay, so I'll go back, select that, and load question 9. And it says select cells A5 through D8. Okay, so to do that, we're going to first click on A5 and hold our mouse button down and go down to D and go over to column D, and then with the mouse button held down and then drag it down to 8 like that, and that'll select the range of cells from A5 to D8. Okay, then question 10, select column C. So to select a column, all you have to do is click on the letter that designates that column, and it'll select the entire column. And then it says select row 4. So it's the same. You click on, instead of the letter, you click on the row for the 4, or for the row number for the row that you want to select, and it'll select that entire row. And then it says navigate to the second sheet in the workbook. Okay, so it's right now it's on expenses Q2. The second sheet will be expenses Q3. So just click on that tab and then continue. And then it says remove the file from protected view so you can edit it. Okay, so if you click on this enable editing button, then it'll allow you to edit it. Okay, so whenever you open up a workbook and it has that enable editing button, it's in protected view. So if you click on enable editing, it'll allow you to edit the file. All right, now it says open the Trust Center dialog and review the settings, and then close the Trust Center without making any changes. Okay, so I happen to know that the Trust Center is going to be in your options, which you're going to find on the what they call the backstage menu. Anytime you click on the file menu, that's the backstage menu. And then scroll down to the options down here at the bottom. And then the Trust Center is down at the very bottom. So you have to scroll this bar down to the bottom and select the Trust Center. And then it says review the settings. So we need to click the Trust Center settings. And then it says close the Trust Center without making any changes. Okay, so click OK, OK, and we're done with that question. Now it says change the value in B6 to 725. So first of all, we need to find B6. So they've already selected it for us. So just with that selected, you can just type 725 and enter, and it'll change the value to 725. Now, if I did Control Enter, hold the Control key down and hit Enter, it'll keep it on that same cell. Okay. Now the next question is enter the number 530 in C7. So C7, they already have it selected. It says so in the name box there. So on C7, we're going to enter 530. So you can use your number pad if you've got your nums lock set and hit enter. And then we're done with that step. Then it says add the word total to cell A9. So cells in a spreadsheet can contain numbers. It can also contain text, or it can also contain a formula. In this case, we're going to type the word total in cell A9. So we can see in our name box, it's on cell A9. So we can just type total and then hit enter or control enter. So you do control enter, it'll keep it on the same cell. Oh, it says, okay, I guess they don't want us to do the control enter. So we can go back and do that again. So here we're going to put total. Oh, has to be all uppercase. Maybe that was the problem. Total. It's a little picky then. You have to do exactly what the instructions say. So I'm going to try the control enter again this time. Oh, no. It wants you to just use the enter. Okay, so we get multiple attempts, so it doesn't hurt. So TOTA all uppercase, and then just hit enter. That time it liked it. So in the post-test simulations, it wants you to do it a specific way. So the way that I did it with the control enter is also a correct way, but in this post-test, they want you to do it in a specific way. Okay, Then we're going to apply the accounting number format to the selected cells. So to do that, we can go up here to on the Home tab in the Numbers section, click this pull down, and we want the accounting format. So this is where you can change the number formats in that number section on the Home tab. So that's formatting numbers. Okay, and then change the number format for the selected cell to the currency number format. So again, we're going to go on the Home tab in the Numbers section, click this pull down, and this time we're going to select currency, and that'll change it to the currency format. And then modify the number format so no decimal places are visible after the decimal point. Okay, so in that number section again, you have these two little buttons. One is to increase the decimal, one's to decrease the decimal. So we're going to hit that decrease decimal button twice, and that'll get rid of the numbers after the decimal point. So that's just another way to format the numbers in the cells. Okay, then it says to apply the long date format to the selected cells. So again, we're going to go here, click on the pull down and select long date. And that'll apply the long date format to the cells. So these are nice features of Excel that allow you to format the numbers or the text in your cells the way that you want to. So we're going to apply the short date format. Same thing. Click on the pull down here, but this time we're going to select short date, and it just shows just the month, day, and year. And then we're going to apply the date number format to the selected cells to display dates in the format, similar to 14-March. Okay, so in this case, we need to click on this launch button. Every one of these sections on the menu ribbon has a launch button. It's that little arrow in the bottom right-hand corner of that segment of the menu ribbon. So we're going to click on that, and then we're going to click on the Number tab, and we're going to select Date. And then from the date, we want to select this 14-March, and then click OK. And that will then format that date in that format, or format those cells in that date format. Okay, in this question, we're going to use the autofill to complete the series from cells B7 to E7. So we're on B7, and we have a formula. So we know we're on B7 because it says in the name box B7. We've got a formula on the formula bar that says equals sum B2 through B6. So the sum function will sum the numbers B2 through B6. So we want to apply that same formula to column C, D, and E. So down in the bottom right-hand corner of that cell that's selected, B7, is a little solid green square. That is the fill handle. So if we position our mouse on it so that that plus sign is right on the fill handle, and then hold the mouse button down and drag it over to column E, and then let it go, it will replicate that formula that's in column B7 to C7, D7, and E7. Okay. And the reason it can do that is because there are relative references to those cells that are referenced in the formula. And you'll learn more about that later. Okay, then we're also going to use the autofill to copy the formula and formatting in cells E2 all the way down to E6. So another way you can use that fill handle is just when it's in a situation like this and you want to copy it down, you can double click on the fill handle. Whoops. Okay, we can't do it in that case. So I got ahead of myself there. So go back. We're just going to use the fill handle. It's going to be just like we did before, except it's going to be down vertically instead of horizontally like we did before. Okay. And then you can see it doesn't, one thing about this simulation, it doesn't let you see the formulas that get copied down, but you'll learn about that. All right. So now it says to enter a formula in the selected cell to calculate the profit projection for 2022. totals, and then it tells you how to do it. Total cells cell F4 minus the cost of goods sold in C5. So we're going to put a formula in here. So anytime you enter a formula, it starts with an equal sign. And we're going to take the total cells in cell F4. So right here, F4 is right here. So equals F4, and then minus the cost of goods sold in F5. So it'll highlight the cells that are being used in the formula, and you can, on the formula bar, you can see right here the formula, and also you can see the formula right here where it says equal F4 minus F5. And then I can hit enter, and we answered that one correctly. So that's how you, one way to enter a formula. You put the equal sign, and then you reference the cells that you want included in the, and along with the arithmetic operation symbol that you need. Okay, so now it says to enter a formula in the selected cell to display the owner's draw percentage of cell B6. Okay, so all we have to do in this case is put equals and then go to B6 and select B6 and then hit enter. Okay, so then it'll show the draw percentage of 10%. That's not a great example of that, but it works. Okay, then we're going to edit the formula in D2 so that the references to C2 will update when the formula is copied. Okay, and the reference to B9 will remain constant. Okay, so we want B9 to remain constant. So why is that? So B9 is the cost of living adjustment, COLA. So that's going to remain the same. So when we copy the formula down, we want to keep that the same. So we can go on the formula bar here, and we can either type a $ in front of the column reference, and then also type a $ in front of the row reference, and that'll make that an absolute reference. Or we can also click on that B9 argument in the formula and hold down the FN key, which is in the bottom left-hand corner of your keyboard, and then while holding down that FN key, hold down the F4 key at the top of the keyboard. And every time you hold that down, it'll change the number of $. So, but most of the time, 95% of the time when you're making something an absolute reference, you're going to put $ in front of the column reference and a $ in front of the row reference. Okay, so now we've made that an absolute reference, so it won't change. It'll remain constant. And then we're going to use, so we're going to hit enter, and then we're going to, well, we could have done control enter there in that case. And now we're going to use the fill handle to copy that down to the other cells. And then we're done. Okay, so let's see where we're at in our list of questions. Okay, we're on question 28, and we've got about 14 more questions, I guess. Okay, so let's go ahead and finish going through those. So load the question. So enter a formula in the selected cell using the sum function to calculate the total of cells B2 through B6. Okay, so this is a nice feature of Excel. So now we want to sum the cells in column B. And so they've already selected cell B7. So we can go over here, and in the editing section, there's this auto sum button. And if I click on the arrow on the right-hand side there, it'll give me a list of all of the functions that are available to me. So in this case, we just want to sum the numbers. So we can choose the sum function and then just hit enter. And now it will have a formula there. I should have done control enter, sorry. That will show, it'll sum those numbers in column B. Okay, and that's something that you're going to use a lot. Okay, then it says use the AutoSum to enter a formula in the selected cell to calculate the total of all the contiguous cells above. So we're going to get a chance to do it again. So if you just click on, now if I don't click down on this arrow, if I just click on the AutoSum button, which is probably the most common function you're going to use there, just click on that once and it'll insert the sum function for you. And then you can do Control Enter, and you can see, oops, oh, it doesn't want you to do the Control Enter. Okay, that's too bad. Okay, so let's go back, and we're going to use the AutoSum. So we're going to go up here, just click on AutoSum and hit Enter, and then that's correct. Now, if you were using it in Excel, not in this simulation, you could do Control Enter, and it would keep it on that same cell that you're on. Okay, now it says use the quick analysis tool to calculate totals for the selected cells, and then insert the totals in the empty row below the range. Okay, so the quick analysis tool is this little graph thing that appears when you highlight that range of cells. If you click on that, we can click on the totals tab, and we want it to be below. So we're just going to click on this sum button. See, there's a sum function for the rows below, where it shows the blue rows below, and there's also a sum function if you wanted the sum to be on the empty column to the right. In this case, we want it to be on the empty row below the numbers that are selected. So let's click on sum. And it says there's already data. Do you want to click OK? Yeah, okay. And then click continue. We're on to the next one. Modify the status bar so it displays the results of the min function for the selected cells. Okay, so we have a bunch of statistics on our status bar here, but the one that's missing is min. So if I right click on that status bar and click on the minimum option, it'll show now what the minimum is, which is 45,000. Okay, so you can configure that status bar to show the things that you want it to show about the data. Okay, then we're going to remove the results of the min function for the selected cells from the status bar. Okay, so all we have to do is the same thing, right click on the status bar, but this time uncheck it, and then we're done. So just showing you, you can configure that status bar. Now change the zoom level for the worksheet to be 110%. Over down in the bottom right hand side here, you've got the zoom bar. If I click on the plus sign once, it'll move it up to 110%. You can zoom in on your sheet. And then change the zoom level to 90%. Just click on the minus, and that'll change it to 90%. And then return the zoom level back to 100. So it's 110 now. If we just click on the minus, it'll go back to 100%. And then create a new file based on the inventory list template. You may need to scroll through the available templates to find it. Okay, so we're going to go to the file, and we're going to click new, and we're going to go down to the templates. So we need to scroll down here, and we want the inventory list template. So we're going to select the inventory list template and then click on the create button. And then it'll create a new worksheet based on that template. So it pre-populates some of the cells with labels and formatting. And so you can use that if you can find a template that suits your need. Okay, then search for a template using the phrase sales invoice. Okay, so we're going to go to the file and go to new. And we're going to search for online templates for sales invoice. So you can also try to find and then hit enter. And then it says create a new file using the template titled simple invoice. So just click on that simple invoice and click create, and we're done. Okay, and then it says to arrange all open workbooks in a single window so they overlap in a staggered diagonal pattern. Okay, so we're going to, in order to do that, we need to click on the view, and then we're going to click on arrange all and we want it to, um, let's see, open all in a single window so they overlap in a staggered diagonal pattern. Okay, I'm kind of guessing here. So I'll click on the cascade. Oh, I got it right. Okay, good. Okay, so you can have, if you got multiple workbooks open, you can, or worksheets even, you can do that cascading to see them all at once. Okay, use the spelling checker to find and change all instances of misspelled words. So we're going to go to the review tab, and we're going to click on the spelling button. And then we're going to see what says payroll is misspelled. So we're going to click it to change it to the new one or the correct one. Click OK and continue. And preview how the worksheet will look when printed. So then we're going to go to the File menu and go down to Print, and it'll show you a preview of what it'll look like when it's printed in the print preview window. And then it says print this worksheet. So we're going to go to the File and click on Print, and then click on the Print button. And then that's how you print a worksheet. And then click any cell in column B, so any cell there. And click any cell in row 11. I think we're starting over now. Okay, so we've got all of the questions answered correctly now, so we can submit, say, load that question. So we can submit our exam. And there you go. All right, so that's how you do that. And let's see, anything else? You'll also need to do the skills review .1.1. That's due this week. And I provided a video demonstration of how to complete that. So you have plenty of tools to help you get 100% this week on your assignments. And I hope that's helpful to you. And if you, again, need any help, don't hesitate to reach out to me. My phone number is right here on the homepage. If you go to the instructor link there, you can see my phone number right here. You can text me or you can email me in Canvas. So if you've got a question. Okay, guys, have a great week and be successful. Don't hesitate to reach out if you need help. See you later.